Hey everyone, it's Marissa, your Usborne Books lady, and I am going to go through some of our new titles with you. This is just a very small sampling of our new titles. We have like a ton of new titles this January, like a ton, and they're all really, really good. This is the most excited I've been about our new titles since I joined Usborne. So I'm going to just real quickly go through some of them, more or less kind of in age order from baby up through high school. To see them all, if you go to my website, www.booksbymarissa.com, and click on Shop, on the left-hand side, there's a little thing where you can click on New Titles, and you can see all the new titles. Or if you prefer, if you're like, I don't really care about new titles, I want to shop by age level, you can shop by age level as well there. So that's, my website is www.booksbymarissa.com. Or if you would like to like me on Facebook to ask me questions, get book suggestions, and see videos like this regularly, it's www.booksbymarissa.com. I'm sorry, www.facebook.com/booksbymarissa. All right, so first we have Usborne's very first 1, 2, 3. We also have Usborne's very first ABC. And as you can see, it's just a very simple board book pages, so nice and thick, so they're not going to rip it. One house, but there's also one tree, one cat in the window, one little girl swinging, two cars, but there are also two bunnies, two houses, sets of two flowers, three boats, but there are also three houses in the distance, three life preservers, three dogs. It's just really clever. And then it goes all the way up through 5, and then at the back it has a little, like a recap of all the things that we've seen. We have the new Peek Inside books. This is Peek Inside the Farm. We also have Peek Inside the Garden that is coming next month. It's not quite ready yet. So this is Peek Inside the Farm. These are great little simple flat books for toddlers and early preschoolers. And this one is all set in the farm. So it talks all about what this one is talking about, what the animals eat. And you can see there's hens in the hen house laying eggs. This talks about the farmer milking his cows. This one talks about where fruit and vegetables grow. This one, there's a page that has a hay baler, but I must have skipped it. And then at the very end, it talks about all of the different items that are made on a farm and has a bunch of things being sold in a farm store. So it's just really cute and informative. This is our Flippy Floppy Ocean Animals book. We actually have several Flippy Floppy books. This is our brand new one. And these are really cute. So it says, can you find me? I'm hiding somewhere. And there are these little peek-through holes on each of these flaps. So is he hiding behind the stingray? No, it's me, squid. What about here? Hi, it's me, shark. What about here? It's me, discus fish. About here, and then once you have all the flaps open, you can see that it makes the animal, or the picture of the animal that's hiding. So my 1-year-old loves this book. He's almost 2 now, but my 5-year-old really loves it too. I was reading it to him before nap time. She came in and listened to it and said, I definitely need to read that before bed. This is Lift the Flap Shapes. This is not your typical shape book. I love this book. So the very first page shows you all the shapes that are going to be throughout the book, and this is your typical page. So it has the shape, and then you lift the flap and it says what it is. But then it has things like the shapes are hiding behind the flaps, so you have to find the shape and name it. And then it has things like how many sides does a oh, okay, so you have to find this one is making new shapes. So like when you open the flap, it makes new shapes. And then it has the questions down here. How many sides does a rectangle have 4? How many corners does a rectangle have 4? This one is one of my favorites. So these animals are going to a birthday party. So you lift the flap to see what present they've brought, and you name the shape that it makes. And then in the house, Bunny has unwrapped all of her birthday presents, so you find the birthday present, and then you're supposed to match up who brought the birthday present based on the shape. So Bear has an oval-shaped birthday present, and then this is an oval-shaped paint palette, so we can infer that Bear brought the paint palette. It's just really clever. Very first book of things to spot is just a very good first book of things to spot, because it's It's got nice, crisp images, not a busy background. So it has things like which flower has no leaves, which flower is the tallest, which butterfly is the smallest. Earlier in the book, they're a little bit easier, so it's like spot the truck full of carrots on the train. Can you find the person in the house that's wearing a hat? Things like that. Our books are really great because they get progressively more difficult as you go on in the book. This is one of our new Wipe Clean books, the Farm Activities, and it's got all these different activities all set within a farm. So it's got mazes and connect the dots and doodling and puzzles and things like that, all set within a farm. My daughter has declared this one a winner. This one, they have to, all of the cows should have 5 spots. So they have to add the correct number of spots to make each cow have 5 spots. My daughter really loves that one. This is some of our new picture books. Jessica's Box is about a girl who's in a wheelchair, but it's not explicitly mentioned in the book that she's in a wheelchair. I really like that. And she's going to school the next day, and she is really nervous about it, and she decides to bring a box with something really interesting in it that will get all the kids to talk to her. This is Bears Don't Read, about a bear who finds a book in the woods and he wants to learn how to read, and he goes to town and he scares all the people, but then this little girl decides that she's not scared and she's going to teach him how to read. A Tale of Two Beasts is my favorite of our new picture books. It's about a little girl who's walking through the deep dark woods, and she finds this beast, and she takes him home, and she dresses him up, and she feeds him food, and she takes him for walks, and she treats him wonderfully. But then we hear the beast's side of the story, and we find out that maybe she's not treating him so wonderfully after all. So it's a really great lesson about how the same story can be perceived differently by 2 different people. Love it. We have 2 new Lift the Flap books. Lift the Flap questions and answers about dinosaurs. These are just all sorts of random questions and answers about dinosaurs. My daughter loves this book. We've read it almost every night before bed since we got it. And then this is Lift the Flap General Knowledge, which is so cool. It's just like a trivia book. It just has so much stuff. There's so much stuff. So there's, and then there's a timeline in the back. And then the very end is a quiz that's like a matching quiz about questions that you will have learned from reading the book, and then there's an answer key down at the bottom, so it's really cool. And then when we're not reading the Lift the Flap questions and answers book, we're reading one of the new Billy B books. This is not the one that we're reading. I don't have the one that we're reading because it's with her at Grandma's house right now. So Billy B and Hey Jack are our 2 characters that we have beginning chapter books for. They're like transition books from readers to chapter books. And then the Billy B Mystery Series is like the next step up in those. So the first 2 of these came out in June, and the next 2, the Playground Problem, which is book 3, which my daughter has right now, and The Strawberry Thief, which is book 4, just came out in January. And we're reading a chapter or 2 before bed every night. Usborne Lift the Flap art book is so cool. I think that if you are homeschooling and you have like an art unit and you're not an artist, this would be a really great book to help you with that. So it talks about just general information about art, and then creating art and different techniques that are used to create art and creativity and things like that. And it talks about colors and blending colors. It talks about how artists bring movement into their pictures. It talks a little bit about optical illusions, but it also just talks about bringing movement in through certain, artistic techniques. It talks about lighting in art. Hidden meanings, how artists used to hide things in their paintings or have used symbology in their paintings. And then it talks about how people today study art to learn more about the time period that the art was created. So it's just really, really cool and super informative. This is one of our new See Inside books, See Inside Weather and Climate. This would be great for the school-age kid who's doing the unit in school on weather and climate. As a great homework helper, but it's also just really cool and informative. Like, I'm sure that my daughter will love this book. So it's got everything you ever wanted to know about weather. Talking about world climates and airflow and things like that. It's just really cool. Write and Draw Your Own Comics, I think actually came out in October, but I haven't talked about it in any of my videos yet, so I wanted to talk about it now. It's a book that's all about writing and drawing your own comics, and it talks about drawing out storyboards, and it actually talks about artistic techniques, and then it has all these blank comic strips in the back that they can use to write out their own comics. It's really cool. This is one of our new illustrated books. If you're not familiar with our illustrated books, they are really great for kids that are reading on their own, school-age kids that are reading on their own, but they also make great read-alouds for bedtimes. And this is our illustrated classics. So inside it has, these are longer stories, so you would not be able to read like a story before bed. Probably you would need to have a night or a couple of nights to read a story. Some of them are shorter stories, so you could read like a story at a time. But inside of this one there is The Railway Children, The Canterville Ghosts, The Wizard of Oz, Black Beauty, The Secret Garden, Around the World in 80 Days, Heidi, and Moonfleet. And then in addition to this one, we also have illustrated Hans Christian Andersen, and I haven't seen that one, but I assume that those are going to be shorter, and that would be like a good read in one sitting. And then there's another illustrated that came out, and I can't remember what it is right now. This is one of our new pocket books. We have Mammals and Reptiles. These are really great if you are if you just have someone who's really interested in animals, but also if you like to go like backpacking, this is a great book to throw in your backpack so that you can look at the animals that you're seeing and know a little bit more about them. So it gives the animal's name. So this is the European hedgehog. And then it talks about their habitat, where they live, their size, their weight, their lifespan, what their natural predators are, and then it talks about what their extinction threat is. It's a really cool little fact-filled book. This is our Shakespeare collection, which I love. So it comes in this nice little box, and it's got 5 different books in it. Midsummer Night's Dream, Twelfth Night, Macbeth, Romeo and Juliet, and Hamlet. And they have just done a great job with making these accessible to kids. I think they would be great companions to kids that are studying these books. Like, I read Romeo and Juliet when I was in 6th grade, and I didn't get it. If I had had this, I probably would have understood it a little bit better. I'm going to read these to my daughter. She doesn't know it yet, but I think that she would enjoy it because Shakespeare is really interesting and engaging, and we don't often introduce our kids to it because we think it's too hard. And then lastly, this is one of our new Choose Your Own Adventure books. This is Choose Your Own Ever After. There are 2 of these. This is How to Get to Rio. There's another one called The Hot Cold Summer. And I put these last because they are older kid books, because they talk about things. There's like, you know, there's kissing boys, and they talk about attracting boys and things like that. They're really worried about what they're going to wear to go to school and stuff like that. So if you have a 9 or a 10-year-old daughter, this might not be the best pick for her. But if you have a teenage daughter who's a little bit more mature and likes girly books, then these 2 would probably be interesting to her. All right, so those are our new titles that I have here to share with you. And I hope that you have enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me on Facebook or through email. You can actually, if you go to my website, www.booksbymarisa.com, there's a Contact Me button. Or you can contact me on Facebook, www.facebook.com/booksbymarisa. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great day.